Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Geeks About Gaming. I am Wilden.
And I'm Kendall, and we have so many good things to tell you guys today.
Yes, you could say there's a lot of topics, a lot of them are hot topics.
Oh, hot topics.
Hot topics,
So
because
dumb.
we don't cover any other kind of topics. No cold topics here.
Never cold topics.
If you want to talk about,
Why would we talk about a cold topic?
yeah, if you want to talk about this new boba popsicle ice cream thing I keep saying people talk about, that some people keep posting on the internet. I didn't know either, but that's a thing. That this is not the podcast for that.
Good. Let's just create a second podcast.
Just
for
talk about that.
This
is a bonus edition. First we did Last of Us 2, and that's talking about boba ice cream.
Yes.
We can have that could be a segment episode. Kindle teaches Wilden boba. What? Because I've only had it twice. I'm like, yeah, it's not
no way. You know, when the pandemic is over, though, I have to like take you like Little Tokyo and stuff.
Yeah, because I've only been to Little Tokyo by myself like once or twice, Arcade Town, but never with people. So like when I go to Little Tokyo, I'm like,
I feel like you'll like it.
Yeah, I don't even eat there, and I know there's a gaming lounge, but I've never gone in it. Never gone in,
okay,
but yes,
we'll go.
I'm always good. That sounds fun. All right, yes.
Speaking of games.
Speaking of going to places that are not relevant to people who are in LA.
Yeah. Wilden, what's your weekly discovery?
Weekly discovery. Well, there's two things that have come out today, this week. I've not played either one of them. One is a game based on a somewhat favorited animated franchise that is Samurai Jack. Yes, Samurai Jack. I have seen a good part of Samurai Jack, but I never really saw much of the second half or finished it. But they did release a video game that is out, I think, now. It's as far as people's opinions, I think it's gonna be one of those things where if you like the show, you'll probably like the game more. I don't know. Are you gonna be picking this up, Kindle, or trying it out? I don't know if I will.
Well, the thing is, I probably 100% actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say yes, 100%.
All right, cool.
I'm a big fan. You know.
Okay, cool. So you'll be here.
Yeah.
So next week, I expect a brief review.
Oh, yeah. I mean, is it gonna be long? You know.
I don't know. Movie and TV show games usually aren't too long. I don't think it's gonna be a 40-hour game, but I don't know. It could be.
It's gonna be narrative, I assume.
Yeah, the art style's like the animation, but it's like 3D or.
No way! Oh, that's.
It's
sick.
like a 3D. Yeah, you gotta look into it. It's pretty. But I think it came out might have come out today.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Another thing that came out this week is a game that's been. It's been like known about. It's existed for a hot minute, but it's taken quite a long time for it to actually come out. I think I've heard people play the demo of this at E3 like as far back as like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that is the new updated version of Battletoads.
Oh my.
Now,
gosh,
for those of you who are, under a certain age, you're like, well, what the hell is a Toad and why is he battling? Well, Battletoads was a game that existed way back in olden times of gaming for some of you. And it's a game that was notoriously one of the games known for being super hard and super difficult. And it's a tough game. I've checked. The impression I'm getting, first I hear is that there's like easier difficulties for somebody like me. So it's like you don't have to Dark Souls it like the original one if you don't have to. It looks like the art style, I like it. It's got good reviews, mostly, from what I'm seeing. But the overall impression I'm getting from people that are playing it, though, are like, it's alright. It's alright. It's not bad.
Is it alright, though, because it's hard, you know? Is it alright because they're not having a fun time with it because they're not beating it as fast as they thought they could?
I see, you don't know, right? I mean, having it easier difficulties, I would think it would be like, well, you could be... I mean, if it's going to be on Game Pass, which I believe it is,
yeah,
I think I'm going to try it. I'll give it... I like the old school cross thing. I tried a little bit Streets of Rage 4, but I didn't get that far. I'm not the best at it, but, like, I have memories of playing Double Dragon 2 with my friend growing up on the NES, where I've shown my age. You know, so like if I had somebody else to play Streets of Rage with, I probably would have more fun with it than by myself.
Yeah, I assume that too.
And I can't remember that, and I think the thing with that too is there wasn't as much like of as an easier difficulty. So, but Battletoads is kind of the same thing. It's that new like kind of Neo art style and stuff like that, kind of like Streets of Rage 4. So, but it's good to see these old school like side scrollers come back. Because a lot of, I've never beat any of like the old games from like the NES really or whatever, but the only one I felt like I could beat or have a shot of getting pretty far in were these side scrollers. It's just, there's not, you don't have to think too much. It's just mash this, mash that, tiny bit of strategy. I don't have to worry about stats. Just don't know what to think about. That's all. And there's also, what else did you discover anything this week, Kendall? What else is going on?
Have you heard about, for me, my weekly discovery is, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Man of Medan? Medan?
Man of Medan, yeah.
Medan? It's, the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan. It's the same creators of Until Dawn, so you guys know that it's actually a very horror survival video game, and it's interactive, and it's the same as Until Dawn, where you play multiple characters who go through all these trivial things, and then you die or you don't die. I don't know how I feel about it.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because I played it on stream maybe a month ago, and I'd heard previously that people were like, it's not as good as Until Dawn.
Yeah, Until Dawn is so better. I'm not that far into the game, like me and my roommates, but I feel like I think facial expressions look good, reflections look so good, but movement looks so bad. Like they move like this game is from 2012. It feels like Sims, and it reminds me of this Detective Barbie video game I played a really long time ago. Just like the angles of where you walk.
It does. I mean, it might be on purpose, because I guess it's that's how the original Resident Evil games were, right? Because we all think now Resident Evil 4 over the shoulder, but they used to not be like that. So I think it's that's on purpose. Now, whether it works or not is a different thing. Some of the shots are cool.
Yeah, okay, so so far, it is fun to play. It's not as scary as you think it is, just because if you have, the mindset of being scared, you'll be scared, but if you have the mindset of, having fun, then it's a good game for sure.
Yeah, where the story goes, I feel it's less, I would say it's less horror, more drama-based. And for people going in expecting, pure horror like Until Dawn was, people, I think, got disappointed. I will say, though, I like this stuff, because the third one's coming, right? Well, the third one was supposed to be out by now, but I think it got delayed. And what I do like what they set up is, they have, the person that you talk with that, narrates stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not the guy from the original game. It's somebody else, but...
It is something else. Same kind of thing, though.
Same kind of thing, but, apparently from what I've heard, he's gonna be in every game. He's the one that's gonna guide you all these games. They pretty much confirmed that. So I like that they're having this theme. They have a TV show opening that they'll probably have at the beginning of every game. I think is really cool. Of him going down the hallway, you see, snippets of the games they might make and stuff like that. So that's fascinating to me. So even though I wasn't a big fan of this one, seeing the next one, which is I want to say Camp Hope, but that's not right. That's it's.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah, but it's it looks like it's gonna be a little bit more horror based, this next one. So it depends. If this third game has the same reaction the second game does, maybe the franchise might be in trouble.
Yeah.
If the third one ends up being surprisingly good, then franchise it, because they want to do this every year, right? And is this gonna be the last one on the current gen? I guess so, probably. I don't. So that's the thing. But I appreciate the effort for them doing something different.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You always want that from developers, you know?
Yeah, and a lot of weekly discoveries. We'll talk about later more of like what people overall have been playing, what the big hot games are right now. But we could talk about one of the games though that we talked about before. It's already a hot game. Fall Guys. That's the.
Ooh.
No, tell us about Fall Guys, Kendall. What's happened in Fall Guys? A lot of things. Historical moments, some people might say.
Yeah, Fall Guys, as you guys know, is probably the top game right now when it comes to multiplayer couch co-ops and just, having a good time. Tim the Tatman, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's a very popular streamer. He's up there with Dr. Lupo, Ninja, Shroud even. Not in gameplay, but in numbers and personality. He sucks at Fall Guys. He's the worst at Fall Guys. And people have been counting the numbers of times he has failed. He has never won a game up until a few days ago. He finally got a dub. He was playing with Nade Shot and Ninja, and I'm just here to say that a lot of people don't even count this as a win, though, because they think Ninja and Nade, they threw the game so that Tim could win. Which I see why that people don't count that as a win. And he also said he's actually going to play the game solo to prove that he's good at the game and can get a win by himself, but he has yet to do that. So he's just not good at it.
Yeah, and
but he finally got it. So
yeah, I mean, people are like, "Oh, this is a gaming moment in history, like a heart of a champion," things like that.
Uh-huh.
And now people are like, "Well, what do you think about it?" And it's like, it is a moment. People are like, "Oh, this could be one of the greatest moments in the history of." This is like when Ninja worked with Drake, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I think you're over exaggerating it a bit, but it's definitely a cool moment. It's gonna be a moment from this year. You feel bad for the guy. Like, he's been trying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope he gets one on his own. I still haven't technically gotten one yet, so it's like, I'm in the same boat. It's relatable.
Yeah. I mean, I've only gotten one since the beta. I've only had one, and that was during the beta. But, we don't play it as often as Tim the Tatman does, so it's come on, statistically he should have won one by now.
I know, and I see people playing this like all day, and it's like, I don't know if I can mentally do that, but I don't know if that really helps you or hurts you.
Oh, right though?
Like, for me, I feel like it would hurt me because I spend so much time on it, just drains you out, and you just can't, you're not at full 100%, or your heart's not in it as much. I don't know. But then we had a part 2 to this.
We did, and it's such an opposite part 2. So Fall Guys themselves, the marketer of Fall Guys, just decided to look up who is statistically the best in Fall Guys. Like, they have like the means of doing that, and they found out it's a PC player, and this PC player's number is 1839. I don't know if you know it's about Fall Guys, but on PC we had a lot of run-ins when it comes to custom names and how people are kind of taking advantage of that system. And Fall Guys took that away, gave us all numbers. And we do have duplicate numbers depending on where we are server-wise.
I don't know if I even knew that.
Yeah. You can have, like, there's other people who can have your same number. Statistically, whoever's 1839 is the best game player in Fall Guys. And then someone said Dr. Lupo's numbers is actually 1839, and Fall Guys was like, well, there's duplicates, so it could be Dr. Lupo, but who really knows? But then we found out that it actually is Dr. Lupo. Dr. Lupo is statistically the best in Fall Guys, and they have given him a free skin because of it.
Yeah, and it's cool the way they did it. So basically, they build up their, like, there's this person, the Fallen. Who's the Fallen? And then they're like...
They call it the Fallen one, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, and they were like, we don't know who it is. We're gonna drop whoever the Fallen one is. We have no idea. they're gonna get this exclusive Portal skin. So
Yeah.
it felt like everybody was involved. It could have been any one of us. I mean, I doubt with me, but it's like it could have been any one of us. So they were like, everybody had to check and look. It was open field. And it turns out it was Dr. Lupo.
Which is hilarious, but also statistically, it makes sense because he's been playing Fall Guys like nonstop, especially with his son. So like, and he, we know he got some sick moves on the keyboard and mouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's the Fallen. Yeah, so now you can find hashtag the Fallen One on Twitter.
Yeah, and Dr. Lupo was it today or the day before? He started like streaming in the morning, and he didn't even know either. Like he found out on the stream.
Found out.
Yeah.
He straight out found out today. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a heck of a marketing thing. That's a good thing. Also, as a little add-on, according to the Jeff Keighley, he basically hinted that they're going to already show off a little bit at Gamescom opening night because Jeff's heavily involved. They're going to show a little bit of Fall Guys Season 2.
Wow!
Yeah. I
No way.
People are like, whoa, it's a little soon here. Hold on. I still haven't gotten all my... Wait, slow down. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come out tomorrow or next week. It could be a couple months down the road. So just hold your horses. They're just showing us an idea.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Because this like we all said that like it can't last long unless they do something with it. They can't keep it up like this, but since they have something to show us for season 2,
you know what they could do. Well, what they could do as well, Kendall, which leads me into one of our first little stories here, is Fortnite and Epic. A lot of things going on over there. But what they're doing is they announced a little teaser, and the little teaser had the word Marvel, and you got to see old baby Blue Eyes and some lightning, which is Thor. And so before they had done Marvel stuff before, like Thanos and I think Captain America, and apparently with that they had like a teaser that he might go in somewhere with Thor. But it seems like it's not going to be just Thor. It might expand a little more. They were talking about how Groot's gonna be like a skin. It might be a rumor and things like that. So it seems like
partnership.
Yeah, it seems like this next whole theme of season or whatever is Marvel based, which is exciting. As we were just talking about Fall Guys, like that kind. I know Epic's got its own thing going on, but like having Marvel skins, Halloween skins, things like that for Fall Guys is what's gonna keep it going. Do what's working for Fortnite, bring it in, I'd say. So that's pretty exciting for those people. Is it going to get me back on playing Fortnite anytime soon? No. Even
not.
Like even if they said Batman was going to be in it, as Batman's my number one thing in life, I don't even think you would still play Fortnite even for that.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm good. But also going on, as we know, not only the Marvel thing going on, but they announced another thing. So they're still Epic's still fighting Apple. They're having this whole thing going on we talked about the last podcast. They have since continued their fighting, not only just parroting Apple like they did before, but they're taking it a step further with the official #free Fortnite Cup.
Which I commend them for. Like, they are stepping up for their own platform, and they're trying to get their fans and their consumers to help them out on this just by spreading #free Fortnite. Like, what a way to do it, on social media. It's definitely the place.
Yeah, and I mean, I was listening to an earlier conversation about too, and like somebody had an opinion of, which I could see of like, is it showing the right example by kind of strong-arming the audience that they have, kind of using them in a way to kind of push things in their favor.
I think if you're going to go against someone like Apple, you're gonna need it. As sad to it is sad to say that, but you're gonna need your army to like maybe just like face level, surface level, beat Apple. Yeah. You know? Because like they don't need us to win to you know, take legal action on Apple.
Yeah. I mean, and it's still going on. Yeah, it's and they've lowered the price of their VR bucks and things like that. It's just it'll start August 23rd.
So soon.
And it's gonna include a Tart Tycoon outfit, which is and they have its head's very similar to an Apple's logo, and they have gear, so they have a hat with free Fortnite with their own version of the Apple logo on the hat. So they're going all out on this. They're not like half-assing this. They're like, oh, you want to go? Fine, let's do this. If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging. So as far as how they're doing it, I don't know. It seems people are a little split, but for the most part, I'm just curious to see what happens next. Again, this is the first time something like this has ever happened.
Oh, for sure, and I think it's exciting to like almost like we're a part of the legal action almost. Like, we're not, but it's like a mom and dad fighting over a child. Because of money, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of things and fighting things and money, I think you know where I'm going with this. So I heard some Pokimane. What's going on? And she came out with a video. I totally did not watch it, which means I totally did.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, I watched it too, and I can't believe I was watching. I'm like, no. Why am I subjecting myself to influencer culture? Why am I subjecting myself to current society?
Yeah, it's really sad. So we all know that Pokimane decided to take a month break, right? And she actually took that month break immediately. She announced it, went on her break.
And then she was like, wait a second, it's been like 3 days. Hold on. Wait a second, I'm not done yet.
A few days into her break, people started giving her a lot of heat online. So she actually posted almost like a nearly 16-minute apology video, and she called it My Overdue Apology. I think it's brave of her to do this, but yes, it is overdue. A lot of people think she didn't need to do this apology, but basically it has to do with, I guess you could say criticism. I don't even know how to start this. There's so many things in this video.
Yeah, you know how the internet is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can start off, and I'll just follow your lead.
Okay. She basically got into a fight with Keemstar a long time ago, right? And they were just tweeting at each other, and then they both didn't make amends, but they both just let it go, and they deleted their tweets. Someone took those tweets, put it in a YouTube video, and then she took legal action to get that video off of YouTube, which then started this avalanche of, oh, so Pokimane doesn't want us making videos about her. Pokimane hates criticism. Oh my gosh, I can't make I love Pokimane videos on YouTube anymore because she's going to legally take them down. She's saying that's not what was happened. She was just saying that this was her right to take away her tweets, and Keemstar took away his tweets. So there should be no reason that someone should have those tweets. Also, she doesn't want people taking her exact content and just re-uploading it. It's fine if you do reactions, and it's fine if you do highlights, but she doesn't want exact content. And that was the beginning of the video. But she did apologize for all of that. She was just like, I'm sorry that this is what it seemed like, but this is not what I want. Like, this is not what I wanted to happen. She also had to bring up...
Well, and by the way, as I insert here, we all know, it just, today, the person that posted that stuff, his YouTube channel kind of got taken down.
Oh, yes.
Today. It's like, where are the odds of that?
Yeah, kind of insane. Yeah, so that was also part of, like, all the comments saying, like, she's gonna take your YouTube channel, and she even said that she didn't mean for that to happen. It's like
Yeah, she immediately, as soon as
babbling.
that leaked, she posted to Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm just letting y'all know right away, like 10 seconds in, she's like, it has nothing to do with me. Leave me out. I'm jumping ahead of this because y'all go for it. Bye."
Yeah.
I'm coming back out for a second time. I'm coming out of my month-long break.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times she's gonna come out of this?
Yeah, she might come out of it a lot.
Once a week.
And then she had to address how, I think it was like 5 years ago, she actually, this is before she was really, really popular on Twitch, but she was still pretty popular. She used the N-word multiple times, and she didn't use it in racial context. It was just something she grew up saying, and I think that is terrible, but like how she got into that word and how she grew up with it being okay to say for her, but it's obviously not okay. It's very offensive, and she just brought it up again because people have been bringing it up, and she's saying, I'm a changed person. She can't change her past, but like she has learned from it, and she has never said it. That was 5 years ago. She's a new person. So yeah, I think it's sad for her to bring it up again, but also like you should have, like, yeah, you're young, but you still should have known better back then,
Yeah, it's one of those things, again, right? It's like no, like I get it. Like, I'm fine with that argument as long as she had got. I feel like you get away with that, but you still should have to be punished in some way. So what she said is fine, but if she hasn't gotten some sort of punishment for it, I still feel like you're getting away with it a little bit. Like, you saying that is okay, but you're still not, like, not deserving of something, right? It's the same thing. It's like, people are always like, well, I've changed, I've become this, and it's like, oh, I, like, chop somebody's arm. You could be like, that could be extreme, but you could be like, oh, I did this, or I broke somebody's window or whatever, and you then covered it, like 7 years ago, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, it was a dick thing for me to do, but you never, like, covered a charge or something, and it's like, well,
yeah,
if you're gonna, I don't want to say, like, half-assed, but if you're gonna go all the way with it, just, like, I don't know, whether she, like, punishes herself for some way, or she's like, oh, I'm gonna donate to this or whatever, and like, people can change and come with videos, but still, like, you have to pay that price a little bit, and she might have, for all I know. I don't pay attention, so as long as she took a good hit, then
but just like, it's just not a word for you to say,
right? Because like, look at this, right? It's like the same example. It's like that dude on The Flash, right? There was that dude who's, and it's not game related, but there was a dude who played Plastic Man on The Flash.
Yes.
And he was on there for a couple seasons, and tweets came up years ago that he said, and they just straight out got rid of him. Even though he would have given the same similar apology as Pokimane. But then you have like James Gunn, for example, who said that stuff, but then he changed and they brought him back. Granted, that's two different companies doing two different ways of doing things. It's just, I don't know. I mean, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. I guess. I don't know. I'm not, a person of color to where that affects me as much. So it's up to them to make the final call, I think. So, what else? What else did she say?
So she also had to bring up the fact that she wants to keep her private life private, which makes sense. Because there have been rumors saying that she actually has a boyfriend now. And people are saying that she's probably keeping it a secret so that she can still gain money by all these simps, right? Saying she's, trying to fool these gullible men into giving her money because she's single and that they might have a chance with her. And then when you're single, you're more desirable. But she's just saying that she's just trying to keep her life private because her entire life is on social media. I mean, a lot of girls do that. A lot of girls say that they're single because of that stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think you should outrightly say you're single when you have a boyfriend, but she's just not saying it. You know, she's just opting out and saying she's in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, there's other streamers that we could mention, and we brought this up before, I think, on podcasts like a months back. It's just, it's you know, like, the way she's addressing it, I think it's, like, the best way you could.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lie either, right? So it's like her, she's never said she didn't have one.
Yeah.
But just to keep it to yourself, I think that's the way to do it. Because if you go and say you're single and you're not, and then you lie about it, most of the time you're still going to be fine anyway. And you'll get people pissed off for a day and they'll whine and complain, but they're going to still give you money because we've seen what happened. Other people have done a lot worse things.
Yeah.
But then again, she brought up a good point too, which is at some point, I mean, you can use it for content and other stuff. I mean, that's gonna happen. If somebody like her, like, look at Lily and Michael or things like that, it's like they're using each other. I mean, yes, in a certain way, it's like, yes, you're taking advantage of the person and using them, and like really, who wouldn't? To call somebody out for doing that, because it's like we would all do the same thing. But at the same time, they're using their relationship to make quality content together, and they, by doing stuff together, are each boosting their own separate comment, and Lily and Michael are, like, killing it right now with their content. Yeah. They're both great. So, like she said, down the road, when she seems open up to whoever let that person in, you know, that gives her a chance to make content and stuff she hasn't done before. Because I think what's going to happen is, not that it gets stale, but it's like, okay, I've been doing this for a couple years now. It's done well for me. I'm ready to kind of take a next step and move on and advance myself.
Yeah. Like, it's just, as long, I don't know, man, as long as she doesn't lie about it, if she continues saying she's single, then that's a problem.
Right,
know?
But I don't think she's ever...
She hasn't done that.
Yeah, no, she's just, like, don't talk... So, you know, and she even still hasn't said that she's in a relationship, but people are like...
She hasn't, it's just a straight rumor, yeah.
Tier 3 Sims.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that's such a thing right now. Dude, I've been seeing this thing on Twitter where people are like, that's such tier 3 energy. And I'm like, oh my god, that's a real thing though. Like, if you think
about it, and then it's just like... Like, all those people just, like, man, just... They should just... I don't want to be a jerk and say they deserve to have their money taken for being that stupid, but that's just me. Yeah, it's it's an interesting sort of thing. On a totally different note, just a random note. So, all of a sudden, out of the blue, this game gets announced called Black Myth Wukong. There's this developer called Game Science, and nobody knew this game existed. Not even like the big press people. Nobody. Just out of nowhere, this trailer drops, and people are digging it.
AAA.
Yeah, people are digging it, and I gotta tell you, it's like as I was describing it, it's that Jade Empire / Enslaved Odyssey to the West sequel that I needed. And although I've heard people were saying like a little bit Dark Souls-y, so now I'm a little worried about the Dark Souls things. I'm like, oh god, no,
really?
please no Dark Souls. Just give me a Kingdoms of Amalur.
Like it really looks like it.
It does, but I don't want that. I don't want. I'm tired. Y'all got your Dark Souls games. I get it, but like you got your Sekros, but give me another Ghost of Tsushima kind of thing, please. I'm tired
of Dark Souls.
I'm tired of certain things of interest in me to be ruined by these like things, and that's no fault against those people, right? Like
that's funny.
And like you have your Sekiro, give me a Ghost. Like if you give me the Black Myth and then make your own version of that for your Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But I like dudes that use sticks and whack people with sticks, like, Soul Calibur, Kilk was my man, just... So, Kendall, what do you think about this? This is based on the like the monkey thing, right? The Kingdom of the. It's a classic.
Yeah.
They had a movie with Jet Li, Jackie Chan a few years back.
I remember that.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Is this something that piques your interest?
Honestly, I think it looks amazing. It looks so good, and the trailer looks so good. And like, I'm not really a Dark Souls person. I'm the type to like watch Dark Souls, you know, not to play Dark Souls. But like, this one I would totally sit down and just watch a stream all day if I had to. I don't know, man. It looks good. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks good. Apparently, like, they're getting a little bit of criticism in the trailer because it wasn't perfect looking. Not like Halo bad, but like.
Oh, yeah.
And they're they're like, yeah, we're gonna work on it. They said they want to do it on PC and current and mainstream consoles, but they didn't specify whether that's current gen or like next gen. No indication of when it's really coming out. It's just a thing that exists. This could be easily 20.
Yeah, I read that this trailer wasn't even for us, the consumers. You know, it was to like gain interest on the company and not really the game. And it's like to show how capable they are. And like, this is so early. It's the same thing where you drop something, you still work on it, and then once it's actually launched, oh my god, it's way better.
And it's not even confirmed to come to the US, but I'm sure after it gained this sort of traction, it probably will.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and it's full gameplay. It's not just a trailer. It's like full gameplay footage. The equivalent I could think of is maybe a sort of equivalent of the Deadpool teaser that got leaked before the Deadpool movie existed, sort of thing. Except this game is actually going to be... They're not trying to sell the game to be made. It is going to be made, but it's like the equivalent of that. It's like, this is what the game is... Like, the spirit of what the game is, but it's still going to be a long-ass ways away.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, but
it still looks good.
But again, it just came out nowhere. Nobody saw this coming. Everybody's like, what the... Okay, all right. And people seem to be down initially, at least for the most part.
Do you know what's another game that's actually kind of like taking... not the internet by storm, but is definitely in people's mouths. They're talking about it. It's going around. People are playing it already.
What is it, Kendall? What is
it's called? It's called Rogue Company. Have you heard of it?
I did. You know what? The first I heard of it was a Dr. Disrespect stream. Somebody told him about it, and he's the one making a map for it, right? Or that's a thing?
I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, it's a third-person tactical shooter, and it has to do with you and guns, and like each character has an individual set of skills, which is very much like all the games we have right now, but it's like us and people going to war to save the day, and like mission starts, you get paid, you look good, you got gadgets, there's sick people. The trailer looks fun. The trailer looks like a movie.
So it hits all the check marks, you're saying? Just
yeah, but like actual gameplay, I heard that they can work on it, you know?
I thought I when I saw it, I thought I could be wrong, but did I hear this right? It's a little like it replaces like PUBG, that kind of like PUBG kind of was there, then went downhill, and it's kind of forgotten, and now this is kind of taking its place.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And this one has different modes too, so.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know. Where is this? It was a Steam, Epic. Where the heck is it?
Epic Games. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And you can get a beta right now, and you can actually watch some streams who have drops enabled to get a key for it.
Oh, bless you. Oh, you got a second one.
Thank you.
I was like, make it a third. No. Okay. Yeah, I just only heard this game within the last week. Again, I didn't know who was coming.
Same.
I don't know who made it, or what's going on. But yeah. It's a thing. And like I said, I know Dr. Disrespect was doing a thing where they challenged him to make a 2D map, and he did, and now they're challenging him to actually make the map. I'm guessing he's still working on it.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
And so okay, so now Now we got... Okay, so... as we know, DC fandom is coming. There's 2 anticipated games. One is the new Batman game made by Warner Bros. Montreal. The other one is Rocksteady. Now, as we know, Rocksteady is the developer that's made the Batman games, except Origins. And people generally love Rocksteady. We've been waiting on their new game for a while, and we talked about last stream, the rumors. It was confirmed as a Suicide Squad game. But... timing. As we've been talking about too recently, more and more stories in the industry have come out of people being mistreated or sexually assaulted or things like that sort. And unfortunately, Rocksteady is also in that vein, and no excuse for Rocksteady. Right when the game gets announced, so supposedly there was like a letter that came out by a bunch of people about things that had been going on in passing. And this was back in November 2018, about, like, harassment and stuff like that. And a lot of it's related to this game, specifically, coming out. About unwanted advances and things like that sort. With mostly the women developers. They've had a rough time there, which is... It sucks because we all hail Rocksteady as, like, one of the granddaddies now. They're like, oh, they're perfect. And then this happens. Since then, they came out with a statement on their own, Rocksteady, saying, yes, we knew about this as this happened. We have since that incident fixed stuff. We are listening. I know everybody's getting all our business right now. So calm down. We're doing our best to take care. We're not Ubisoft here, where we're just kind of just winging it and we're freaking out. It's like we kind of took care of this. So Kendall, again, another story related to this. How do you see this? How do you think Rocksteady's response is? What's your take on this whole thing?
You know what? It's honestly, this is one of those things where I just kind of want to sit back and watch things happen. Like, do I have a real opinion on it?
I don't know.
Or do I think things are like? Do I know? Like, do I have an idea of like where it could go and what? You know, like I don't.
Is this one of those things where it's there's not gonna be as much of an effect as in like Vikings, right? Because Assassin's Creed Vikings, like the head guy, like, it's whereas this, it's like this is something that supposedly has gotten resolved. Once the game reveal comes out tomorrow, everybody's gonna be talking about it. Nobody's gonna be talking about this in a couple weeks. Whereas Ubisoft, people are gonna still be talking about it.
That's literally what I think, though. Like, I feel like it's like one of those things where it just happens in your life, and you're not like hyped for it, or you don't have theories, or you don't, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, like, we don't work there. They could be saying they've improved it, but there's still a couple things that are not right. All we can do is hope that they do their best. And the thing you can hope for, right, is they worked a lot of hours and all that and put a lot of hard work into it. And you really hope, especially for these women and all that had to go through all this crap, that the game's good. That the game's just as good as it could be. It blows out our expectations out of water. It lives up to the name. Because the worst thing that could happen is it turns out this game is awful. And all that mistreatment and stuff they had to go through.
That would be the worst. Like, just like that, then that's when I would want to have a conversation. Because if it's great and then they're fixing their thing, like they're fixing themselves internally, then it, like, yeah, woo. But I don't know.
Again, it's, and that's the thing, right? It's like we're all fairly confident Suicide Squad game because they haven't really done anything wrong yet. You can have your debate on which is the Batman Arkham game or whatever, right? But you can do that with like the Nolan trilogy, right? Excuse me. But still, we don't really know how this game's going to look. We're still not sure how this game's going to work. So it's going to be very curious to see at DC Fandom how that's going to go. And we will definitely be talking about that and the Batman game on next week's episode. You can guarantee that. Mm-hmm. Get our whole opinions and thoughts on that. Also, Kendall, I keep bringing out these... why am I bringing up the bad stories here? The even worse stories. It's always me. I'm so sorry.
I just want everything to be better.
I know. Again, related to another thing of a company that people like, that now does something that's kind of upset people. Control. Remedy. We like Remedy. for the most part. They made some of our favorite games. Banjo-Kazooie, Alan Wake, things like that. They had this game Control last year. A lot of people liked it. It was like IGN's Game of the Year, I think. I'm playing it. I like it. The DLC for it is coming out. Again, talking about bad timing. All this comes out like right when something gets released, as well as bad stuff comes out. Excited for the Alan Wake
game a few weeks ago too.
Yeah, excited for the Alan Wake crossover. Yes, as we were talking about because they got announced at the thing. So okay, this is okay. So 505 Games, which is the people that publish it. So not Remedy themselves, not the ones that make the game, but the ones that publish it.
Okay.
The new thing now is a lot of these games are getting free upgrades. So Cyberpunk, free upgrade, things like that. Control is getting an upgrade, but it's doing it a little bit differently. What's happening here is basically that if you want Control on the next console, you can, but it comes at a cost, and the cost is that you have to buy it again.
Which I think is insane. It's like $40.
Yeah, and this has gotten people all kinds of riled up, Kendall. Talk about being a hot topic. This might be the most heated topic that we've talked about so far.
Yeah, and it's what?
And the reason, and so the thought process is what people are kind of guessing is that it's one of those things where Control initially, numbers-wise, didn't do well. It's kind of a John Wick effect, but then as time has passed, they've heard how well it's doing, people picking up, and they're like, oh, this is an advantage for us to get more money, so we're gonna have people buy it more for the same thing. And not only that, it's if you buy the base game, you still can't upgrade. You have to buy it with the DLC. Even if you didn't want the DLC to buy it again, you still have to buy it with the DLC. Yep. And if you bought it with the DLC, you still have to buy it again. And they're but then it came out with reasoning. Yeah. And their reasoning basically was, we tried our best, but we couldn't figure it out. There was just something on one of the consoles, they didn't say who, PlayStation probably. We couldn't quite make it work. As much as I love PlayStation, they couldn't quite make it work. And that's their reasoning. And it seems that people aren't really buying it. That people are kind of calling bullshit because they're like, look at all these other games that are doing though. They're on the PlayStation and other consoles, and you guys can't figure it out, really? You, for some reason, all these other people, you can't like ask them what is it that? What's the problem? What is? They won't say. That's what I'm curious about. What is the problem that they have that's holding them back? I would love to know, because if that's your reasoning, you have at least, I think, the right to tell people what the exact issue is and not to hey-haw him around it. I don't know about you, Kendall, but yeah, I think you have the same opinion as me, where this is a little full of bullshit. And at
completely.
And as somebody, like I said, I want to support Remedy. I like this whole Alan Wake universe thing they're building. I'm going to play the DLC, because I already pre-ordered it. It's coming out this week. But this, really sucks. Now, as a counter, there is a counter to this. Okay. Which is a fair point. Is that supposedly PlayStation, at least, is backwards compatible, right? Yes. So there's really nothing stopping you from at least taking the base game and just inserting into PS4 and doing it that way. Yeah. But for some people, they're there's people who like the backwards compatibility and some people who don't really care so much and just want the newest thing. So that's true, but it's it's shitty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And this is not a way to just get your game back out there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like you feel bad for Remedy because I know it's not their fault. It's not. Yeah. It's not on them. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna cause them to break off, or like hopefully maybe somebody else picks up Remedy and 505 Games. I don't know. Or hopefully 505 Games like avoids to do this in the future. I don't know. But it's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, they even said that they had to make a hard decision, and this is the best that they could do for us.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and also as a
is it really?
No, it's not. And also too, which by the way, just in case, another little extra factor, because Remedy also made one of my other favorite franchises, Max Payne, which I've still been begging for a trilogy remaster, Rockstar, because it went from Remedy to Rockstar. Rockstar owns it now. But Sam Lake, one of the head honchos, was literally, physically Max Payne in the very first game.
Oh, no way.
Yes, he literally mapped his face on the main character. So if you played original Max Payne, it's Sam Lake, the head of Remedy, is Max Payne.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah, once they went to the second game from there on, the second game, they hired somebody else to do it. Then once Rockstar took it over, they completely changed the look again. But that's an extra factoid. And, he even did, an anniversary post that Max Payne came out 20 years ago. Oh, God. And he posted a picture of him doing the Max Payne face, and it's great. Also, if you ever play Alan Wake, he also cameos in Alan Wake as well. There's a segment where Alan Wake, the actor who plays it, is on a talk show, and he's on the talk show as a guest. So it's a little throwback there as well. I got a little too down the nerd hole, but sorry for that. Now, again, we're not even to the main topic, but man, I'm just gonna sit back and watch Kendall just go on. She might pull Wilden Hill. Kendall might do a Wilden tangent here on the podcast, so I'm gonna sit here back and watch as an audience member. Burger King. Let's talk about Burger King, Kendall. You love going to eat food at Burger King, right? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'm so ready, man. Okay, so Burger King came out with a very controversial marketing scheme on Twitch, right? They used... a lot of us don't even know if this is real or if it was staged. However, either way, it still sends a bad message and it's still scummy. They took advantage of small streamers who have text-to-speech donation options, right? And for text-to-speech, it's pretty cheap. It's like $3 to $5 just to donate for your text to be read out loud by a robot. Burger King decided to make an entire commercial based on text-to-speech donations. And what they did was they donated the minimum amount and then typed in something similar to, buy our fries are on sale, get it with a combo burger and medium drink. All of this you can get at Burger King for $5. And they did that on multiple streams, and they took all of these clips, made it into an advertisement. What's bad about it is that they stripped these people's content by distorting their voice and blurring out their face, which means they did not gain permission to use their content for their ad. So basically, they spent maybe $25, $30 on people's content and then stole it. And you can't really say, I guess you can't say stole it because they did distort their faces and voices, but still,
And Leafy's over here my channel just got canceled, are you fucking kidding me? And this shit happens? Really?
Yeah. I know, right? You're like, what the fuck?
It's come on, guys, I was, you thought I was bad,
Yeah. So, I'm here as a performer, an entertainer, and a marketer, and I'm here to say it's scummy. It's scummy because, yes, there's an argument to it where there are prank videos out on YouTube, right? Where people prank people who didn't necessarily gain their permission to use their likeness to gain money, right? But I'm here to counter that by saying streamers are entertainers. We are here to gain money entertaining you. We are here to gain partnerships and sponsorships. And by just kind of like distorting our voices and blurring our faces, it kind of like takes away and just negates what streamers are trying to build, which is a partnership with someone. And it's like, even as a marketer, like, you know it's scummy. You know that was not the right choice, and you know you don't like that. And then as a performer, there's media fees. You were personally paid extra or a certain amount to have your likeness on something that will be seen by thousands of people on some type of medium. That goes for commercials, magazines, that goes for stage performances, that goes for advertisements. And they basically negated every rule and decided to make this commercial. This advertisement. I don't know why they thought it would be a good decision. I don't know if it's supposed to be satire. It doesn't look like it. I don't know if these are real people, but I can say that this gives other just companies the idea that it's okay to do it, and it's not.
I'm just looking.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see if Wendy's would come up with a witty Twitter response to it, but they haven't yet.
They haven't?
Really? I'm surprised,
wow.
Yeah.
I know, Wendy's is like the one to do it too.
Yeah. They throw jabs all the time, so I'm sure they're like finding, that's like handed to them on silver platter.
I also want to say, though, I want to bring something up because I was actually talking to my friend about this because he didn't agree with me, or he didn't agree with the vocal outcry of how it's scummy and how it's a poor approach to marketing, because he's saying that streamers leave themselves open by having text-to-speech, by leaving themselves open by not reading their own donations. And I just like didn't agree with that at all, because it's like that's literally along the lines of victim blaming, where you're blaming the person whose content was like stolen, who their like part likeness was used against them without their permission. You know?
Yeah, you just gotta like, and I'm still learning this too, right? Like you've got to, especially if you're like advertising something, whether it's on Instagram or things like that, there's always some sort of thing, they always say like, oh, if they offer you something but it requires you to pay for it or a certain point, that's not really like sponsoring.
Yeah.
Like you should, and it's things like that, and you just gotta be careful when you work with like companies and stuff in general, just to make sure that you're covered, or if you're not sure, just make sure to like talk with somebody that knows the legality and all that stuff. And try to educate yourself the best you can. I mean, I know a lot of these big streamers all that have managers, and it's for a reason. It's just for shit like this, and in case something like that does happen, to find a way to get it taken down. And I don't know, it's not just, what even bothered me more about most of it than anything else was just like the way they distorted bothered me.
Yeah.
It was kind of, it felt like the thing that upset me the most about this whole thing is when I was watching it, it just felt so like lazy.
Oh yeah,
and
for
half-assed.
Sure it felt lazy, because it was.
It was a very like last minute. They're like, okay, blur this. That's fine. We don't have time to properly like do it.
Yeah, like you could tell that I don't know, it was like someone pitched it and then they're like, do it, because they probably didn't understand Twitch. Whoever approved that project probably doesn't understand Twitch, and the person who did it was probably like, well, man, this is gonna be genius. It's not.
Yeah, like you like look at all those things, you're like, oh, there's nobody will be able to figure out who any of these people are. Sure.
Yeah. And I only feel this way because I'm in all three of those industries. I literally understand how all three of how this comes together, both entertainer, performance-wise, streamer, and marketer. And that's just like they went about it all wrong, and that's why I feel like my opinion is so strong, and that I feel like it's just a correct response.
Yeah, it's. I get what they're saying by having your text to speeches open. That is true. You're make yourself vulnerable. So there is a cost. There's a risk you are taking knowing to do that. You're taking a bit of a risk. But again, for like a big company like that to do it, it's like
they have the money. They don't have to do it this way.
Yeah, and it's just like if you were to do it, just even just like I don't know, like a quick DM or something, just to be like, can we do this real quick? Is that okay or something?
Especially if they were a smaller streamer, they are looking for any opportunity. If Burger King asked the streamer, can we use this content for an ad? And then the streamer said yes. Bro, that to them is a win. To streamer and Burger King, that's a win. They could have just asked, you know?
Yeah, because even like, as much as I love Heinz ketchup to death, you know, I would hope to be like, oh, let's work together. I'd be like, cool. Yes, you can do this text to speech if you want. Just give me, you know, like a few bottles of ketchup and we'll call it even. Yeah. You know? You don't even have to like pay me for it, just in some way.
Exactly. You didn't need payment. You didn't need recognition. Maybe all they wanted was cool bragging rights saying, hey, I'm in a Burger King commercial as me, a streamer. Like, that itself is cool.
Yeah, it's like, you don't need to, don't distort me. Like, I'll be your spokesperson. Like, throw me front and center. Let's go.
And if they got that in writing, there would be no reason for any lawsuits made. You know, it's like, could have been so easy.
Right, and again, it's not like this whole thing is brand new. It's like, this isn't like 3 or 4 years ago where it's like sponsorships wasn't a thing. It's like, it's been around long. It's like, come on. It's like, really, like, even my average dumbass could be like, come on. Like, really? Have you been paying attention? God, I know how these things work. I mean, we talk about, you know, like G Fuel or something like that. You know, we know. Yeah. They sponsor a lot of people, but at the same time, there's still an agreement or something of some sort there.
There's still an agreement and a contract, definitely.
You know? Oh, God, it's just, I just saw this, it was just like, well, okay, it's 2020, it's...
Yeah, unless Burger King is in that boat where they're like, any press is good press, who cares, you know? Then, like, good for them, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But when it comes to food, bad press, not so much, I don't think. If it was a different industry, like a movie or something, you get more people watching to see how bad it is. Yeah. But when it involves their food, you're not going to be like, oh, well, Burger King, you know, who's, you know. I mean, I'm fine with Burger King, but, you know, we're not talking about, like, the top fine dining restaurant or anything, you know. It's not going to be like, you know, they're not doing themselves any favors.
Ooh, so bad. That's my opinion on Burger King and their ad marketing campaign and their approach to that situation.
Fudge. Now I'm just, man, I wish I had a burger. Ugh, I'm gonna... Burger King. Yeah, again, like, Burger King for me is on the lower tier, but I don't dislike Burger King's food. And I'll tell you why. You know what it is? I've always, like, as far as fast food goes, and I like Wendy's, too. I like Wendy's chicken nuggets. Oh, Lord. And I used to get their chili all the time. But the reason I like McDonald's, honestly, most is because, and it's stupid, but for the most part, unless I was getting, like, a Big Mac or something, which I never got, I always got exactly what I wanted. I got mustard, ketchup, and pickles. Whereas if I have to go Burger King, or sometimes even Wendy's, I have to go, can I get this without the mayo, without this on it?
You have to, like, take everything away.
Right, yeah, I just want ketchup and, you know, and it's like at McDonald's, I didn't have to do that extra step. I could be like, double cheeseburger, I got everything I want on it, I don't have to ask. And so that's part of the reason why. And I don't know, maybe just me, but I'm very like picky about that, and it's like because otherwise
Yeah.
they'll automatically put mayo, and I'm just like, I'm not, so I didn't. When I was in Burger King, I'm like, can I get this without this, with this, and all right, whatever.
You're like, okay, if you really want it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just I haven't had actually in a while. It's Burger King's been a minute.
I can't even remember the last time I had Burger King.
Yeah, I remember.
I've had Arby's like I can remember last time I had Arby's.
Oh Lord, I haven't had Arby's. I used to not like Arby's all that much, and then the older I've gotten, the more I've started to like it. But I haven't had them in a minute. I used to just get their fries. Be like, I want the curly fries. Just give all those to me.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so hungry. So let's get away from food. Let's talk. So let's talk about another topic. I was telling Kendall if it was too soon to talk about this or not, but we can give an insight, and then we can
talk about their progress.
Yeah, it's an updated topic that's gonna keep coming back, and our thoughts so far. So first, I don't know, Kendall, have you watched any? Okay, so we're gonna talk about, and we'll talk about probably G4 with this too, right? Because we care about this stuff. VENN. I watched the first week. I've been, for the most part, continuing to watch it. Have you still been watching it? Did you watch the first week and dip out, or?
I watched the first week, and then this week I was very in and out. Although I still have yet to see an episode or a segment of the gray area. I'm just never on when the gray area is on.
Well, to be fair, we always do our podcast when one of the episodes are on during the week.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, they're on.
Even a rerun I've never seen.
Yeah, they're on Wednesdays at 7 and Fridays at 7. And we're always.
I don't know, even a rerun. I still haven't seen the gray area. So I can't give a comment on the gray area, unfortunately.
But, well, the reason we're talking about it is because we're talking about, like, as expected, whenever a new thing launches, it's going to have big numbers, and it's going to dwindle down, right? The numbers are going to go down. That's what expected. We expected numbers of it to go down a little bit and stuff like that. Second week, even the third week a little bit. But they've dropped a little bit more. I
would say it's significant for only being in its second, third week.
Yeah, so I would have expected to check, because they started at, like, 3,000, 2,000. I would have expected. Yeah, I would have expected the second week like an average to 700-800, and then the third week maybe like it hits the rock bottom of like 600, maybe in 550. Yeah. But
and then it would stay maybe around 700 was my idea. Like 700 to 1,000 is what I thought they would continuously have.
But it's averaging like 200 to 400.
Which is really low.
And granted, some shows get more viewed than others. I know.
Yep.
I can pretty much guess as far as viewership goes. Like the download, I hate to say it, which is more closer to our kind of show, and maybe Chrissy's shows I haven't watched. Her show's the one I've leaned off a bit, and it's nothing against her in the show. I still like it, but it's just like I'm still like right now the download and VENN Arcade are like my top ones. Even VENN Arcade's my top one. I think
VENN Arcade is super fun to watch.
VENN Arcade is super fun to watch. I think numbers wise, probably the Gray Area is probably doing the best, to be honest with you.
Really?
I think, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, which is good. I watched the one episode that Siva was on before he put himself on the billboard the next day. And it was pretty good. And it was good because Siva was really good. He was very like insightful and gave actually good things. The show itself, it's fine. It's fine. Parts of it are stupid, and parts of it I think are very good. Which is kind of what we expect of that show. But I think that's the reason that's doing well is because that's where they're smart. That's where it's the unique show. So like the download, there is a lot of shows like it, and it is a little bit more streamer influencer heavy. It's not like G4 like we all want, you know. I like the people.
You know what
download.
I feel like though on the download? I feel like they do talk about actual sports a little too much. And it's not that they talk about it a lot. I just don't know if it relates to anything else on the show.
it's weird, right? Because it's like you have people on there that are familiar with esports or in that industry, so you're gonna actually go that route. Like, like they had an esports segment yesterday, I think, or was it today? It might have been today, where they just talked about, like, Modern Warfare or stuff for a segment, and that's part of the audience, so I get it. But it is a little. It does. I don't know what's the. I guess it seems okay. So I like all the people on it. I like certain segments. It does seem a little discombobulated, I think might be the word I'm looking for. Where they have the same segments, but as far as when they have them and stuff like that, it's not as consistent as to where, like, if you go VENN Arcade, right? They have you're starting to get where they're going with it. They have a different theme every week. Fridays is the day they have on the bands.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're starting to see where it's going. And again, Gray Area is a bit of a mess, but you start seeing where the segments are. And the download is getting its segments, but hasn't quite figured out where to put them.
Yeah. In
the right place and when. And so sometimes it feels a little just like on the cuff, which it probably is, but it seems a little more like for example, like, again, bring up VENN Arcade, I think is like my favorite show on there right now. Not just because of that too, but because they picked up, like, okay, first couple episodes, right? Like, you know, everybody sims for Emily, everybody loves Emily, we all love Emily, right? But then it's just like, they were, you know, chat was becoming a thing, so now they've integrated chat as an end segment. They improved already. They saw what was working and improved. And it's hard for stuff like the download and all that to kind of go there. And they have, like, different guests about different things, and VENN Arcade has different guests to do about different things, but they're doing it kind of the way we want it done.
Yeah. Where
they bring them in to talk about it, and then they have them play. You know? And it's hard to describe. Whereas the download segments, which should seem a more suitable place for that, is doing these, like, video calls, and it's, I guess because it's quarantine, so maybe they'll do more in person, but it's just off. And like I said, it's, the people on there are great. It's just, I can't tell you what it is. And it reflects in the numbers. And I'll tell you, it will reflect and the reason we know the numbers doing bad is because I've been in the chat, and I've seen at least 2 or 3 times the last couple days, even today, people coming into the chat and being like, oh wow, they're only at this many numbers? And I've seen that too often recently, and that has me worried a bit. I think another effect too, here's what I think is going to happen, is they're going to have another resurgence. They're going to have a couple resurgences. So what's going to happen is the first resurgence is when Dare Package finally gets launched. That got delayed, that hurt them.
Yeah.
I think when Dare Package gets launched with Ratchet, you're going to see a quick spike for a bit. You're going to see a minimum increase for that, and it's going to go downhill again. Then they'll start doing their New York one, which might not be maybe even until next year, maybe, I don't know. You'll see a spike again, and they'll drop down again. And then after all that's said and done, then that's when we can really tell how long this thing's going to last. But yeah, not having any updates on the Dare Package or anything. They keep saying they're working on it, but they are taking a little long. I'm assuming they're still doing it, but it's taking a long time. And I know they're taking time to figure things out how to do it, but at the same time, it's like, is that reflective of this was a show they added at the last second, and they didn't really have time, and they announced it kind of quick?
Yeah. Like, is this something you actually want to do live?
Is it?
Because that's a lot.
I don't know. It's like, is it going to happen? And there's a little, I think it's still going to, but there is a little part of you to not think, like, is that show still going to happen?
Yeah.
And then, again, when that show comes, it's got to have initial spike increase, but as you said, especially quarantine, like, how are they going to make that work? Because that's the thing you want to do, like, in the studio with people? So, and I'm sure they'll maybe make that, because they're bringing people in for guest house, but it's only one person.
Yeah.
And so I think quarantine I think quarantine might be part of the problem. I feel like maybe the show would have launched when it did if quarantine wasn't an issue.
I can see that 100%. I feel like quarantine did sabotage a lot, unfortunately, and it did amplify stress and how to just handle things, when to launch things, how to build, how to, yeah,
but yeah, numbers wise
they're
though.
doing it.
Yeah, and I mean they're doing, and like we said, like the numbers we expected to drop, that's normal. There's no, like, any person with any logical sense will tell you, like, they're not average. What's going to be 2 or 3 things a month from now, a couple months from now. Of course, you'd want that, but
yeah,
that's the way business works and new things. It's always going to drop after the first initial couple weeks, but it is lower than we expected. And
yeah,
I was watching, yeah, and I was watching, like, even the download was like at 200 or 300, and then VENN Arcade, which is one of the more popular ones, it's like averaging 350.
Yeah. I saw Looking for Gains at one point, and I was there for a bit. I almost watched the whole thing. It was like 120.
And see,
yeah.
I watched like a second of that when Chrissy was on it, but I didn't really watch it because it just really wasn't for me. But
yeah,
and honestly, like, no disrespect to VENN, but that, I feel like that show in general,
it's just out of place.
It was a little, felt like DOA to me. Like it was
out of place.
It's a weird show. Just,
yeah.
And again, like, we don't know their lineup. Like, even when the stuff is not live, it's averaging like 170, maybe a little bit less on average. I've seen some as like on an off time, 76 people might be watching it.
Yeah.
The thing they are doing right still for the most part, and this is specifically with VENN Arcade Down, like I said, Chrissy shows on Watch Asma, but she hops in too, is they are still doing a decent job of having the hosts come in and talk to the audience.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that, though, is because of what's going on with the numbers, whereas to where, like, beginning week, we're going to have them talk to bring people in, and then after a week passes, the host wouldn't hop in as much, and they would dive down on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even a factor at all or not, but at least with the download, and for sure, VENN Arcade, they're at least, like, the hosts are in there off their breaks. They're doing a really good job of that. And that is what is separating VENN from, like, a G4 or something like that, I think. Is that's, like, things like that is what VENN is starting to do right, and if they just keep kind of going that way, that's...
Yeah.
And their Discord's okay, Discord's getting better, but yeah, it's like, when I'm coming in to their streams, it's like, chat's not going 800 miles an hour, it's just slowly dropping in, and I feel kind of bad, and it's like, I don't know, what do they do? I don't know. They need to get their package out.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's something you want to watch live, Like, yeah, we might have all the time right now, but, like, when quarantine's over and most states aren't even abiding by quarantine and don't really need a quarantine, what happens when everybody goes back to work?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I haven't paid attention too much, like, off, like, how many people are watching off that couldn't watch the works that are watching the reruns. And then it's like, once they bring all the other channels, how much time is going to spend on reruns? And I know they were doing a thing for a while where they were, was it last weekend? They were like, on Sunday or whatever, we're not even going to be on air at all. Yeah. We're cutting off. And I was like, I don't know. I think it's a little...
Figuring out the kinks.
Yeah, I guess it's one of the things you couldn't predict it. They didn't, you could tell they didn't really do it right. But again, I don't know how much is that to blame from them, because this is the first time something like this happened. So, but again, I would love to talk for somebody on VENN that's working on that side of things and ask them all these questions, like where they think it's going, how it's doing, things like that. How does this affect their New York thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah, we again, I want to, like, wait more to, like, on a monthly basis to catch up, because then again, it's only a couple weeks in, but it has dropped a bit, and it's worth something mentioning. I don't know. I'm going to still stick with it, at least for the VENN Arcade, and the download. I'll try my best. And a Gray Arrow I'll check out here and there. Again, that's not really a show for me, but... and they have good, like, people behind the scenes working on it and things like that. So it's just... Yeah, but there is a bit... I don't know. They're trying, you know. So we'll see how long it lasts. But then whenever G4 comes, that's gonna be the thing. I'm curious. How, is G4 gonna be like that? I wonder, or not?
I feel like G4 already has a community and a fan base behind it.
So that might make it grow a little bit. I mean, their numbers gonna drop again too, but maybe more to what.
Sure, yeah. But I don't know if they're gonna do it live. G4 wasn't live, and I don't know, like they're very editing based.
I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah. Attack of the Show was the only one that was live, all right. For the most part, X-Play was pre-recorded. Even the forums, I'm seeing people are like, some people are assuming it's gonna be on Peacock, which it probably will be.
It just might be on Peacock.
But then again, in the AMA, Blair was like, well, our mistake last time was only being in one place, and focus in one place. So that also says, well, it might be open to Twitch also. So I don't.
Yeah, but why not just go to YouTube? YouTube is the place.
They might be. I mean, VENN's on YouTube also.
Yeah.
But that is kind of a backup for their Twitch. I've heard that. They've had a couple of times where the Twitch has gone down. People are like, oh, I guess we'll go to YouTube. But
so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. It's interesting. But yeah, it's a very interesting week. So to wrap things off here, wanted to talk about things that everybody's been playing this week.
Yes.
Not just the hot stuff that's coming out, but everybody's been playing this week. Kendall, what's everybody been playing this week? The Fall Guys was a thing, but now I'm hearing this other game keeps being brought up.
It's called Among Us, man, and it's fun. Honestly, you play with 4 to 10 of your friends, and it's your friends, or you could do it local if you want. Basically, you're a crew in space, right? And you're just having a lot of fun. But there's one person who is not one of you guys. It is one of you guys, but like, they're not your friend. They're there to kill you. And you're basically trying to find out who that person is. Who is the one sabotaging the ship? Who is the one killing your crewmates? And that's what's fun about it, because you're all there together and you're like, it's not me. What are you talking about? I'm definitely not the imposter. And you're just trying to figure out who it is. So that's why it's fun.
So it's kind of like a werewolf mafia sort of thing.
Yes, it's 100% a mafia thing. Like, who is the imposter? Who is killing everybody? And they're just like things you do amongst the ship that help you find out who it is. And that's the game. It's only $5 on Steam.
Maybe. It's not like Fall Guys where it's like you can play by yourself, unfortunately. It's like, oh, friends. And I'm like, friends? What are those? And then everybody's like, I'm playing it. And I'm not the biggest fan of the art. It's not for me.
No?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
It's just cute. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look the best, but it gets the job done.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, I don't know.
It could look better, 100%. Yes. But there's a reason why it's $5, you know?
Yeah, so, but this game kind of just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, what's this game? People are like, oh, everybody's like, oh, it's fun. I'm like, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, good for them. Another game I've been hearing a lot about, surprisingly, but very interesting. Speaking of, actually, no, I gotta say, I do, as Among Us, I just want to throw this out there, because I played Werewolf once or twice, but as just an extra side story, I did this once. There was a group of friends in college where we basically did this IRL, where what we would do is, like, each person had a card, and whoever had a certain card was the killer, and you had to physically go kill them. And so what we would do is we stayed at, like, one of our friends' houses, and they had, like, a decent-sized house. They had some money or whatever. It wasn't like a mansion, but it was a decent-sized house. Yeah, we would physically go hide, and you had to go, like, poke the other person, but the person couldn't know that you poked them.
Yeah.
And so then you would guess, like, who the killer was and stuff, and people I hid in bathtubs, closets, under the stairs, everywhere you can find. And I would be one of those people where it's like, I hope I didn't get hit, so I wouldn't, or I would die. Like, I didn't want to be the person that had to go do the poking. I was like, I feel weird, so I would just you know, and you couldn't tell, but we do that all the time. We called it some, I can't remember what we called it, but
yeah,
that was just like a personal life thing that we did. But anyway, it reminded me of that. But yeah, so the other game, when did I expect this? Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Why?
Because it's 2020. Why not, Kendall? Why not? I asked.
I kind of want to do it.
Here's the thing, right? So, Microsoft Flight Simulator
Uh-huh.
is a series that's never appealed to me. I'm not a simulator kind of person. But for those new kids who thinks this game is new, I'm just the Sims one. I'm not saying the people who thinks it's new. I remind you, this game's been around longer than probably all of us have been alive. Most of us have been alive.
Ooh, yes.
Most of these Twitch people. I'm talking, y'all, 1982. This was for a PC gamer. Now, PC gamers who are like our parents' age or whatever were like, hey, I play video games. I play Microsoft Flight Simulator. That was the shit. That was the thing. We had the joystick and all that. So if you ever had a parent that played a video game and had a PC, and especially your dad, that was probably one of the main games they played, was Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Funny.
And they're like,
So
you
funny.
stupid kids and you Zoomers, you're getting all this Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh, this is cool. We had this for 30 years. Anyway, a new entry came out, and it's just called Flight Simulator. It's sort of like a rebrand reboot. It's free on Game Pass. It just launched, and for some reason, people are playing it, and I'm actually interested in playing it too, because the thing people are talking about is how the world looks super realistic. And I'm like, I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go Korea. Let's go. Do I really want to fly a plane? This could be a disaster. But I want to do it. But the catch is, Kendall, here's the thing. The download's not too bad, but you have an update, and the update is 90 gigabytes. It's
Why?
people were complaining about the Modern Warfare being 50 gigs per update. I'm not kidding. I still have been it's been taking so long. I periodically do a little bit each day. I still got like 70 gigabytes to do of this. And the people that have been streaming this, I'm like, I'm surprised I haven't heard more complaints about it. They're like, oh, I'm just streaming it. I'm like, how fast was this update for you? What kind of computer do y'all got to do this? Probably a decent one, because it's going to take a decent computer to run this thing. I don't even know if mine can run it, to be honest with you. But that's the catch.
There's a headline out there saying that it's a new form of cyberbullying for people to fly planes into houses of the people they don't like.
Oh, no. But this is what it's turned into. So, this is a game where even people who normally don't play this are playing it. It's a new hip and happen single-player game right now. Like I said, it comes at a cost, though. So, if you want to play it, install it, set out a whole day. Don't expect to play it that same day. Expect it to play the next day.
So big!
I'm still working on the updates, and it's one of those things that's like, is it worth it to meme this for like an hour and a half on the stream? So I would take that into consideration. Is it really worth it, or are you better off watching actually somebody else play it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm still questioning that myself. I'm still downloading the updates, but I'm willing to give it a shot here. But yeah, I'm not kidding. I need to gigabytes. I saw someone on a post of somebody, like, even the reviews, they were like, oh, but this upgrade's bullshit. I was like, oh, how bad is it? And what sucks, too, is that you can't update. You have to update it while the game is on, so you hear the stupid Microsoft music, and you can't pause it. So I'm sitting here trying to play a game or watch the download or whatever, and I hear this do-do-do-do, and I can't turn it down because I got to turn the other stuff down.
Yeah.
But yes, Microsoft Flight Simulator is the hot thing.
That's amazing.
First it was Ghost of Tsushima, now it's this. That's
fantastic. That's just too good, man. 2020, man.
Yeah, man. 2020. Fires everywhere. Is it me? I swear to you, I'm not kidding right now. As we're continuing this podcast, folks, as a current update, I am sweating now more than I did before the podcast. I'm not kidding. I wasn't even sweating before we started this podcast, and my legs and arms are sweating like my spaghetti. And I've had this flamboyant the whole time.
It's so hot outside. It's so hot.
Is this supposed to get less hot at night? But
yeah, right?
Here we go. Cool. But anyway, so guys, enough about that. We're gonna wrap up. we are going to talk about DC fandom next week. More updates, everything like that. And we might have a big announcement next week. Big announcement preview. Big announcement. We are going to be posted on Twitter. Next week, we have a big life-changing announcement. Yeah! So, if that has enticed you to hop in, I don't know. Well, in the meantime, guys, thank you for stopping by our podcast or listening or watching. Excuse me, if you're watching the VODs, thank you so much. Keep an eye on our Twitter. Keep an eye on social. Follow Kendall. Follow me. And we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Bye.
Bye.